Ah, perfect timing.
Hello,
Last-
screams.
Work, because it's possible that you won't even notice, but I will probably disconnect every minute, but we'll give it a try.
You are all right. I can always turn off if it becomes like on and off a lot. I can turn off the sound too. So don't worry
Well,
about that.
it will just not be playable then, but I'll let you know. Normally, you guys won't even notice that I'm disconnecting and connecting. At least not according to my friends yesterday.
Last we left off. Ah, wait. Is there any housekeeping that we need to get a hold of? Oh, yes. One moment. Hi! I got completely derived. Wow, the ADHD is strong in this one. Emelina joined right when I was starting. My brain just stopped working.
I have that effect on people.
Okay. All right. Well, last we left off, no. Hi.
You could take a moment.
Reset button.
Welcome to the 46th episode of Owlbear's Roost. This is our weekly D&D game with a bunch of people. At this point, there's no set group. A bunch of queer people. We're all queer, I think.
People that you know.
Yeah, people. Yeah, good people. Okay. All right. No, seriously. Last time I thought, we are. If you are new here, this is our weekly D&D game. You do not need to have seen the other 46 episodes to know, or to jump right in. So if you are here, we are welcome to have you. We are so happy to have you, and welcome. Terms of housekeeping stuff we got to do before session starts. This is the last D&D session that will include my fundraising for my orchiectomy. I had that 2 weeks ago, and perfect, you mentioned it in chat. Yeah, surgery went really well. Everything's doing great. Medical bills are a bitch, so if you want to help support, don't feel like you have to. My family has been very supportive. However, I'm trying to help offset the costs as well. I'm 27, so being able to get support from people reduces the burden on me and my family. So I appreciate that to everyone who has donated so far. And if you can't donate, that's totally fine. We love having you here just the same. But yes, I think if you do want to donate, it's in the pinned comment, !Archie, or you just use my normal donate link. All my money from that's going there for now. Perfect. I don't believe we have anything else to talk about before we begin. So, with no further ado, last we left off, Team Toast, our eclectic group of adventurers, were reorganizing after an excursion into the fallen city of Pelosia. A city once strong, rich, and full of culture. Now a ghost town. And that term specifically, as our group found out last week, is a little bit more apt than originally thought. For not only are there roaming undead along the streets, but a few of them have seemingly been able to break free of the curse that controlled them. It's yet another indication amongst all this darkness and pain that people survive, that they're continuing to do so. So as the group returned, going over their various different magical items and discussing, Althea had brought up a collection of notes that had been retrieved from a villain that they had once slain, saying they wanted to look at them further. These notes were passed on to Fass, Cersei, and Floor to get their thoughts as well. And as Althea sits back in the chair, thinking it all through, that's where we left off. So I will put up the notes back on screen again for you guys. Just in case you feel like there's anything else you want to discuss about them before we go into the long rest.
Nope, I don't think so.
Ooh. Sorry, dropped my keyboard there. All right. Well, then I will close those, and we will say the group goes to a long rest. Is there anyone who wishes to attune or identify magical items throughout their long rest? Anything in particular they feel is pertinent to get done?
I would like to re-summon Valinda. If
Okay.
possible.
Yeah, it is possible.
Not sure
You-
if I've got the monies.
Go ahead.
Hopefully I do.
Sorry, what was that?
I wasn't sure if I've got the monies too, but yes, I do. Okay.
Yeah, so 10 gold. You don't need to do anything special for it. You know how to do it at this point. And you can mark that down.
I want to try to attune.
What would you like to do attune to?
My ring of the distant digit.
Okay. As you place the finger on your... Well, place the ring on your finger.
Oh, yeah.
Where is the... Oh, it's down here. Okay. I was gonna move you guys all to the... upstairs. Not that it really matters. But... Oh, gods. I don't remember who had what room. So I'm just... You're all going upstairs. You guys can figure it out. You guys can figure it out. I don't know which room was whose. I want to say it was this, right? And then Althea had that one, and then it was this, if I'm not mistaken.
I can't see, so...
Yeah, I can't see shit.
Scroll down. Scroll down.
Oh, I scrolled down and I see like a sliver of
yeah.
light.
Yeah, there might not be light up here.
Yes.
Yeah, working on it.
Or and Fess are in the right room.
Now I can see.
And
How do you
Althea
not
should
have
be
dark
up
vision?
here. Althea should be as well.
There you go. Yeah, we need to, I could probably put a little bit of time into, like, editing this map and stuff, but you guys gotta tell me what you want in those rooms and all of that, so, yeah, because, right, you grabbed the books and stuff from that room and then brought them over here. Was that right, or was it the other way around?
No, yeah, I grabbed some of the books that I was interested in. And
Okay.
Fess did too, I think.
Okay,
'Cause
perfect.
they were in Bolosian.
Right. So as you take the ring, slide it onto your finger, you start to notice something. You've always been observant. You've always been intelligent. You've always been the kind of person who can always been the kind of person who can spot things otherwise overseen.
I don't know if anything was said to me in the last 2 minutes.
Ah, yes.
Oh,
okay.
I can't hear.
Can you hear me now? Oh, poor Emily.
My bad, I accidentally turned my sound off.
Ah, yeah, that'll do it.
But I also disconnected at the same time.
As you put the ring, you slide the ring on your finger. You've always been someone who's observant, someone who's been able to spot things that others can't. Always someone who is reading crowds, reading people, and been really able to learn patterns in the way of different, in your life, it was a very different sort of pattern that you would watch, people moving, schedules, that sort of thing. But it's a skill that's kind of transferred. And as you slide the ring onto your finger, you can't tell if you're hallucinating, but it kind of feels like you're able to spot the sort of magical energies around it, or at least feel them, not necessarily visually, but able to sort of attune yourself very quickly, comparatively, than you normally would have before. It's weird. You've never really been a magical person. You've never really dealt with too much magic. But it's almost like you're starting to see, reference to an old movie at this point. You're seeing The Matrix, almost. You're starting to see the sort of weave in which magic is built upon. Again, not visually, and not significantly, but there's a part of you that's starting to realize when they start talking about ley lines and visuals and stuff, and that's something you've always sort of hand waved, right? And even then, you don't think you're you're not a wizard, you're not going to be able to go down that long.
And
but
she's just like, whatever. Normally.
There is a familiarity in that when you would sit maybe on a corner of a street, hidden in an alley a little bit, watching the market, looking for a particular person, perhaps, just as visual sensations, sights were important to you. Sound was as well. Footsteps, people talking. You always felt that you were able to put the picture together in that regard. And when it comes to magic, as you're sort of attuning yourself to this ring, you're starting to realize that there's a sound to it as well. Maybe not audible, maybe not significant, but as you start feeling that magical energy, as you bring yourself to attunement with it, it's almost like you can feel it in your bones. Almost like the vibrations, basically. And to you, that registers as almost as a sound. So there's a part of you that begins to wonder, is all magic like this? Could you sound? Could you make certain sounds to make magic do certain things? It's a path that you've never considered yourself going down. You're far more physical than magical. But as you're sat here, the fire crackling in front of you, Lavetta turning in bed, there's a part of you that wonders if there's a whole side of the world that you're missing. You're attuned to the ring. Hopefully we haven't lost her. There we go. You're kind of cutting in and out. So for those who don't know, her internet has been horrid.
Yeah,
lately.
I just said ow. Anyway,
Did you hear most of it?
I heard all of it. That's the thing. I hear all of it. Really weird. But wait,
Okay.
I'll type it otherwise if it's bad. For a second.
Okay. Do you have any questions about that? Okay. Seeing as she's cut out, I'm gonna assume no, but she'll type it if there is. Alright. So as she tunes to that, Lavetta, having already summoned Valinda, is there anything else anyone would like to do during this long rest that they feel is pertinent? As a reminder, now is the time to identify your magical items and determine what they are and attune to them, if necessary. Very well.
I just spend a little bit of time studying the notes on the Voidstone and layout
Okay.
before actually sleeping. I don't have any other.
I'd say with your
magical
first Passover, there's nothing... You can give me an intelligence roll if you'd like.
items. Sure.
Is Pez here yet? I know Pez was on her way. Okay. I'll stall. I'll stall. As you pass through it, I want to hear your current thoughts on how Voidstone could be incorporated into your design.
So the idea was that the Voidstone would act as essentially a stopping point because it closes. Because based on what I understand, Voidstone is like the absence or vacuum of magic, and so it will actually absorb the magic and impact of much of the focus at the end of the focus point, basically. So if there was a need to actually put a stop to what was happening, the Voidstone would be that stopper. It may be that the power is too much for a single piece, so it would likely be an array that I create, most likely either at the ceiling or the floor, depending on where I aim what we're doing, basically. Which would most likely be the ceiling, since I'm aiming to create some sort of barrier to protect this place from the curse. But basically, an array of Voidstone to prevent the energies from causing damage and or scattering, basically.
As you pass through this and consider this design, this array, you're right. A single piece would be insufficient. It would be far too much energy to contain and counteract. But you start to think there may be a way where, although you have a multiple rather, of energy coming from the ley lines, perhaps orders of magnitude far greater, there may be a way, with the right geometry and the right arrangement of smaller pieces of voidstone, that you can essentially create a way for it to spread out and dampen over time. A large piece of voidstone big enough to contain the multitude of the ley lines would be impossible. It would be unreasonable. But as you think about your array, maybe you could create something that channels the energy from spot to spot to spot to spot until it slowly dissipates. Or maybe you can create an array that returns it back in. The possibilities are there. But you do begin to think that the amount of energy you are dealing with, it's incredible that this inept individual who was handling this place before didn't blow a hole through the ground.
They hadn't already blown a hole through this place?
Had they continued, it very likely would have happened. Now, I believe last we talked, the druid had spoken to you about a world tree, right? And how that could possibly be of help. Okay. Do you remember who was all in that conversation? Was it just the three of you?
It was Floorfest and the druid, I think, yeah.
Okay. All right.
The druid.
Well, the
other druid.
The other druid, not Lavetta.
I thought you were referring to me. I was like,
no, not Lavetta. The druid that is not Lavetta.
That was so good.
The other druid. As you lay down and slowly fall to sleep on the 13th, you kind of getting ready for bed and think of the moon sort of almost subconsciously. It's something that's sort of always on your mind. That natural connection that you have to it is definitely the cause of that in that regard. And as you look out, and think about it, tonight it's a crescent waxing towards the full moon. And it's that thought that starts to bring you further ones as you lay down, get under the covers, and slowly close your eyes. Just as the moon's I say the moon. I'm sorry. Fengar is waxing crescent right now. Noctis would be a waning crescent, actually. So you have two crescents right now of either side. As for the blue moon, I believe it is very close to new. If I can find it. Yeah. Yeah. So it's very close to a new moon because it's a 4-year cycle, right? So it's like a sliver basically. But as you start to think about these positionings right now, right? A thought comes to you. Just as the moon, almost like a wave, goes to new, then full, to new, to full. Through its wanes and its waxing. A thought comes to you. Your power is of the moon and of the energies from the moons. Could you wax and wane said power just the same? In this regard, you'd be swapping from moon to moon to moon, but it's cyclical. What would it take for you to move that cycle, to jump to another phase, or rather in this regard, another moon? And as that thought comes over you, you fall asleep, dreaming of the moons and their phases, and perhaps just the slightest bit of energy could mean more versatility in battle. Lavetta.
Yes.
As Valander curls up against your legs as you sleep, it's almost restless to begin. The dreams are a lot. They're almost overwhelming. You keep coming back to the undead, the faces in which once had lives, once had stories, are now nothing but ravenous, hungry monsters. You find yourselves on the street. You find yourself on the street of Belosia once again, running, rushing. The undead closing in all around you. And you make it to a dead end. As you spin around and prepare what's going to happen next, you don't feel in control. You don't feel like you can do anything. The faces rushing at you become clearer. It's the faces of your allies. Of Zara, Althea, Fleur, Fess, Primrose. But they're not as you know them. They're decayed, decrepit, ravenous. You failed them. You failed in saving them. And now they are nothing but walking corpses.
Oh my god, why? Why would you do that to me?
I need a sanity.
This is...
Go ahead and roll a d20 for me for a sanity roll. Oh, no, roll. Oh, sorry. I'm dumb. No. I forgot we changed how the rules work on that. I know my own house rules. I definitely don't just keep it open because I always forget them. That would be crazy. It's the wording. I have to be careful with the wording before anyone gives me shit. Okay. I need you to roll me a d20. What is your current sanity?
Current sanity. Where is it?
Features and traits.
Where is sanity on my?
Should be in your
It's under
features.
Features and traits. Down at the bottom towards other.
19. 19.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d20, please. Okay. 13 is going to be the number. You have a +4 to your sanity. Okay.
+4. Okay.
Okay, so 13. I am now going to roll a random, just a base d20, okay? You want to ensure that yours is equal or higher than mine, okay? Not that you can do anything at this point. Unfortunately, I have rolled higher. So, either
Okay.
you will be reducing your sanity by 1, or you are suffering an effect. What is it going to be? Would you like to feel your sanity wane away? Or, this is for you as a person, not as a player. I'm asking.
Yep. Here I'm pondering. Oh, fuck it, I'll go for the effect.
Okay.
Because I'm feeling spicy, so.
Alright. So, just so you guys know, there is a 30% chance that you still lose sanity.
You could have told me that before!
Okay.
It's,
No,
no,
but-
it's fine, it wouldn't have changed. It wouldn't have changed the choice.
Yeah. Well, now you know for the future. There's a 30% chance you still reduce your sanity. Okay? Or the effect isn't that bad, okay? So you're gonna go ahead and roll me a 1d100, please. So d100. 9. No, that's
Did I fuck up?
no,
Did I
that's very good. You want lower on this one.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a d10. Not that it's gonna matter. It won't matter. You don't even have to roll it, but just so you're aware, what would have happened had this had happened when you were out in combat, you would have been looking at hallucinations giving you disadvantage in combat. Luckily, it's not happening here. And as you close your eyes awaiting these creatures to bite you, your mind, you almost feel like you're gonna break, and you do, because you don't know now whether or not this is real or this is not. Lavetta is feeling trapped, scared, and you feel your body trying to change, to warp into your lichen form, and it doesn't. You're helpless as these creatures come bearing down on you, and all you could do is push. Your weapons are gone. You don't know where they are. It's a lot, to say the least. And in those moments, which feels like eternity, you feel your druidic focus. Now, if I'm not mistaken, you have it on a bracelet, right? Or is it on your necklace? I can't remember.
My necklace.
You feel it set against your skin. The roughness of its texture. I'm being very mindful of what I say here so I don't give it away, but that rough texture along your skin, it becomes more and more present. And as you think it's all about the end, you feel a glimmer of hope. The sort of general presence that you feel when you channel nature energy. When you cast that energy to heal your allies or smite your foes, there's something familiar about it each time. And I'm not just talking about the energy itself and what it is. No, it almost feels like a relationship, in that there's a friend with you in those moments. And it's not different anyway here. That presence is here now. You feel warmth overcome you. And as you open your eyes, the undead clawing at you. You feel magical energy start to flow through you. And as you grit your teeth, clench your fist, the energy engulfs around. You instinctively let it go, and all the undead around you, their eyes flash that same warm green, and they start running away from you, fleeing, afraid. You notice as you do this, the faces are no longer those of your friends, but Belosians long dead. And as the undead begin to run, you take a breath, and that energy flows through you once again. In your hand, it's almost flowing through your veins, like roots, and you can see it as it does. Blossoms in your hand like a flower. And as you focus on it and let it go, that energy lets out all around you. And you see green, translucent vines flowing out of your hand and to the various bodies all around you that you did not see before. And as this energy begins to flow through them, you see as the roots start to take effect around them, and one by one they slowly stand up. And once again, your allies are all around you. Whatever this energy is that you just flew through, whatever this energy is that just flowed through your body, not only were you able to channel it to make the undead run from you, you were able to restore the life of those around you. You're not quite sure exactly why you can do this. But as you gently wake up, Valander sort of doing a little spin and like scratching on the blanket before laying back down, staring at the ceiling, realizing that was all just a nightmare. There's a part of you that feels that you could still do what you did in that dream. part of you that thinks, maybe this is something I've always been able to do. Maybe this is a gift. Regardless, it's something new, something different, and a tool to be used. You gently close your eyes, taking a deep breath, and fall back to sleep. Do you have any questions, Shannon? I believe you have muted yourself.
No,
Yeah.
I'm.
Okay.
Because I'm still like, because I was sorry I was making notes as well. But would I be able to have? Do you have this written down? Like, can I have this description, or is that something you came up with?
I mean, you could always watch back on the video,
Just
but
watch. Am I allowed to do that?
yeah, well, yeah, 100%. I don't care if you guys do that.
Okay. Cool. Double checking because I feel like my questions are gonna come later.
What?
Big question
Let me
is-
explain from like a DM's perspective what that was.
Okay.
Those were your channel divinities, 2 of them.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because you took a second level in cleric, you
Yeah.
are now able to turn the undead and heal your allies.
Yeah.
This is just me showing you in roleplay how your character knows that you can do that now.
Here I figured I was gonna have her reflect on it, but she would ultimately know. Because that's how we're progressing. Yeah, thank you for
Mm-hmm.
the clarification.
Of course. Althea. Pez, if Pez is here. Pez, you're muted. She's dead. We lost her. She's dead.
My Discord's being an
Oh,
asshole and I'm
how-
sorry, I'm snacking.
As you,
The
you
good
fall
snacks,
asleep-
though.
your dream's a little bit different this evening. As you're in bed, you find yourself back in that magical shop once again. No, none of your friends are here, just the woman who you couldn't get out of your head in front of you. She stands there, and as the dream progresses, mindful of me not going to describe too much, but as the dream progresses, you find yourself far closer to her. And just as you think you're about to woo this beautiful vampiric lady, your body sort of like butterflies in your stomach. That excitement, that sort of, you know, almost childlike love, you know, teenagers in love sort of, what's that word? Like, it's like a simplistic sort of...
Infatuation.
Thank you. That's the good word for it. Yeah. That very basic level of love. It's not complex. It's not romantic. It's a crush. It's... You're infatuated. And those butterflies... I'm saying in this regard. In this
I'm joking, I'm
regard.
joking.
No. You understand what I'm saying.
Oh,
Just
yeah,
like a teenage girl woos over a popular celebrity, you will sort of... Why is the Pokemon community game showing up in my Discord, my chat
I'm
now?
so
That's fun.
sorry.
I don't
I'm
know why
sorry,
it's
I
doing...
can-
It's because of the shared chat.
I can take it
It's
away.
fun. No, it's funny. It's just funny that, like, it showed up. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Regardless, you're like a teenager in love with a celebrity who you'll never meet, right? Someone out of your league, someone beyond your sort of, you know, that's sort of the feeling. And those butterflies in your stomach as this dream is almost coming true. As she leans in You feel those butterflies, and they start to feel more real within you. They start to feel more tangible. And as you reach your hands up, you start to realize energy. Woof. You start to realize energy sparking between your fingers and wrapping around your arms. And you fly backwards, and a bunch of butterflies just appear out of your stomach, floating all around in this shop. The woman looks confused. How did you just do this? The shop now flooded with spectral butterflies flying all around you. You reach up to grab one of them, and once again the energy begins to spark between them. Can you go ahead and roll me a D100, please?
I was the one with the D100s. Damn.
You know what this is for.
Oh, I know what this is for. Oh, no.
You watch as the energy sparks between your hand and one of the butterflies, and then between the next butterfly and the next butterfly, until these hundreds of butterflies all have this mystical energy flying around them, and as they flutter around you, you recoil your hand, look down at it. The energy once again sparking between your fingertips. What do you do?
I reach out for the butterflies again.
You reach out. Give me another 1d100. You watch as these butterflies start to float down, and they just stop pushing you 5 feet in every direction, just back around, and you're just kind of being pushed across the ground against your will as this energy jolts you around. These butterflies lifting you up, dropping you, throwing you side to side. There's so much energy that you feel within your hands and your body right now that you can't control it. Give me an Arcana check. There's a part of you that's wondering, you might be able to control this. All your life, it's only ever really shown up when you're angry. In moments of dire need that you feel your life at risk, or your emotions run wild. But as you're jostled around by these butterflies and they fly above you, maybe you can control it. Maybe the energy within you could be bent to your will, or used in more philanthropic ways. A part of you wishes to cast a spell to see if you can, but the other part of you is afraid of what would happen. What do you do?
I'm gonna try and cast a spell.
What spell would you... Well, what are you trying to accomplish? You're not going to necessarily know the basics of the spell, but what are you trying to accomplish?
I'm gonna try and see if I can control the butterflies within like a spell, if that makes sense.
Okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and roll me a d20. Okay. So you focus the energy. The butterflies flying around. You watch as they start to sort of flow closer to you. And they start swirling around your hands with the energy. The butterflies start to fly all around you. And then flow back to whence they came, to your stomach. The energy sort of still residually sparking between your hand, almost like static electricity. That charge within you. Who knows what could go wrong with it? But needless to say, you might be onto something. And as you wake up for the morning, realizing it's all been a dream, you're a little bit more aware of what has always been ever-present energy within you. That spark, perhaps yours to use. And as the party awakes, who here wakes first? Likely Fess. As Fess, your dreams were fine. Nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing crazy.
Yep.
You get up. Floor is still out cold. Across from your hall as you get up, the other doors are still closed, likely indicating that your allies are still asleep.
Yeah.
What would you like to do this morning?
I think I will head down to the Gordon.
Okay. I'll put you... I'm not gonna... I'll hide you. I'm gonna... There we go. As Fess heads out to the garden, the druid who assists you appears to be already working, tending to the garden. Professor, it is good to see you again. How can I help?
Oh, yes. Good morning.
The plants are doing as you would expect. They are a little bit... It's hard to tell. It would appear that as we grow them, they seem fine, but over time they start to decay. And I'm not quite sure what to do about that.
So we're thinking they start out okay. So the seeds themselves are not corrupted. However, just being in this environment seems to decay them over time.
Well, slightly. The seeds have been corrupted, but I am able to, It is hard to explain. They are, There appears to be more than one affliction going on right now.
Yes, we noticed that. Floor had noticed before when one of the previous companions of our other travel companions, he ate some of the tainted food, and when Floor went to try and do something about that, she said that there were like layers of different things causing afflictions, and she could have maybe done something about one or two of them, but not all of them. So that is something we have encountered before, is that there seems to be multiple forces or multiple things afflicting life here.
Your friend is very intelligent, I must say. That is what it appears to be happening. There is a how do I put this? There is a noticeable illness, common a bunch of plants that are weaker, that they are not properly tended for. They eventually overcome some sort of illness. And I would say that the seeds, when we were finding them, they were like that. Even back in Lumbine, they were the exact same. If not for the world tree cleansing the area, bringing life back to the trees and the plants there, we probably wouldn't have been able to have grown things, and that is where these seeds come from. But
Okay.
it is noticeable. At least some of the seeds. I should point out some of the seeds. They have come from there, and there has been a collection. But regardless, there is still that sort of disease, that sickness that we would find when collecting seeds, right out in the farm fields or from abandoned homes. And even the seeds for the crops here are showing the exact same disease, which is interesting to say the least, because I am able to channel the energy of life and nature to rid simple diseases, simple poisons and whatnot that afflict disease. But it is very interesting to say that once they start growing, the longer they start, and the longer I leave them, say I do not harvest one of them, and I've been trying to understand what has been happening. It is interesting to say the least, because there is a different sort of affliction, and I have tried to channel the energies through it, but it does not work.
Can you tell what the what the affliction does? Like, what is the purpose of it?
It would be remiss to say that it is like aging, because it's not. It's not growing older, it's not we don't see that sort of thing. But if you think about you and I, as we grow older, our bodies, they can't repair themselves. They start to lose that sort of fervor amongst us. To
Yes.
you, this wouldn't
Vitality,
seem 100% familiar, because from where you're at, life is abound and people live for a very long time there.
Yeah. But I also understand the idea of spirits passing
Yeah.
into that world, right?
You
Because-
understand the cycle of life and death. You understand that, like,
yeah.
people approach death and whatnot. But you would necessarily
I mean,
wouldn't
I
know.
imagine I would have talked to spirits though that would have
Yeah, probably talked about
this
them.
process. 'Cause,
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
would have talked about they
I've-
hated to seeing their partner growing old or something like that.
Yeah.
You know.
Because I mean, I've spent a long time consoling spirits and kind of helping
Yeah.
to guide those that have been misplaced. So, while not overly familiar with this themselves, I do feel like
I agree.
some level of understanding, if
Mhm.
not comprehension, for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I am somewhat familiar with that kind of sentiment that you're sharing. It is quite different where I have been for a long time, but I have spoken with those who have voiced a similar sentiment to what you are referring to.
It is like... maybe perhaps a better term is like, you know when you dry fruit and it slowly loses the juices from inside of it? Similar to that. I must say,
Drawn out withering?
withering is a good word for it, yes. It is a, process that I can't counteract. I can breathe life into things, but this isn't life, it's like the antithesis of it. And I would be remiss to say it's not death flowing into it, but it is almost like something is using the land to take its life, its life force. You see this sort of thing for misguided individuals, casters, spellcasters, magi, who think that they can control the dead or bring back the dead. To the point is that they are seeking eternal life. It's usually that sort of people who would find a sort of exception to life, right? To cheat death, as they would say. Which is, to say the least, it is obviously something that I am against. But when this sort of thing happens, they often have... there have been attempts to draw on life instead of their own, drain others of their vitality. And weirdly, it's almost as if the vitality of this place is being drained.
To fuel the spell that maybe is reanimating those in the city?
Perhaps, but I feel like it is more. I cannot put my tongue on it, my finger on it, but the...
Sorry.
It is... when... look, I'm not 100% familiar with the undead. I do apologize, but from what I have learned and studied and colloquially been told over time, it is more a puppeteering of the dead, more a fueling energy into the body to control it. If you were to want to use life energy for that, there are spells that are able to do so, but for example, if someone were to meet an unjust end, someone who were perhaps get in an accident, typically as druids we don't want to get too involved in the natural life and death, but when there are accidents or necessities to bring someone back, we can, and we do. We call upon the natures and the guardians of natures to bring them back and reunite the soul in the body. But I don't know. From what I have seen about animated undead, they don't look like that. If you were to die right now and I were to bring you back, there would be no change, necessarily, that we are aware of. Sometimes if it goes longer, then yes, there are effects, but you would be the same professor. But with the undead, it's like they aren't there. Needless to say, I was shocked when you said that these people were free. It would imply either the soul was still in the body, but not united to it, or it's all a facsimile.
Well, and I do say it is, obviously we weren't aware of these people before they fell under this influence and then were freed of it. So we have no idea as to who they were before. Are these a return to who they were? Are these people returned to who they were before they passed away? Or are they merely have been given some kind of new consciousness? We don't know.
And perhaps that is what is happening, right? If vitality is being drained and brought forth, then yes, it is possible that that is what is animating a large scale of these bodies, right? It would take a lot of energy. But why do you need more? Why would you need more after you've already... Why do you need more strings for the puppets if you've already strung them up?
So either something else is being... This vitality is being channeled for some other purpose as well. Perhaps some kind of spell or to maintain.
Would be a very nasty spell, and I would think there would be other ways to do it, but I don't know, and I apologize that I don't.
No, we can't know everything, but there is satisfaction to be found in solving puzzles, and this is quite a puzzle.
We'll keep working on this for your sake and for the rest of our little settlement here. Belozia deserves its life once again.
Yes, I agree. I don't think
We'll keep working.
What is happening here is good. And I do think that, particularly with these freed undead, the unchained as it were, that they deserve to not have to hide if they wish to live in peace.
I was saying, going back to the topic of the plants, there is something to be said. If a large number of them continue to decay, continue to go bad, my spells aren't working at restoring them.
Yeah.
If this sort of settlement is to grow, I can't ensure that it would be fed. Now, of course, we could always trade food from places grown around the World Tree sapling, but I don't know how safe that would be, how long the food would last. We need something to protect us here.
Yes, because what you were talking about there, if the plants are withering, would not produce at the very least brought in wither as well at an expedited rate? I don't know, aside from that being a vulnerable supply line, I don't know that that would be the direction that would be wise to move in. I wonder, though, if we think that the environment, there's some kind of spells penetrating, or curses or something penetrating the environment, I wonder if we built more shielding or protection around the garden, perhaps we could cleanse the area and not have those effects.
There's something to be said. I will think about it. It's
Yes,
also
yes,
interesting.
think about it.
If it's affecting all these living plants, is it all living things? Are we? And as he says that, one of the two gods that you guys have, the defenders, this one's going to be Baradine, she comes running up. She's like a big bear lycanthrope, and she runs up to you. Pardon me, lady. We've got sorry, I didn't mean to say my lady. They're Fess's. They probably would have said this.
Yeah.
Malige? No, Liege seems a little bit too excessive. I need to figure out better honorifics. I'll just say sorry to bother you, Mix Fess, but there is something you should see. We've got incoming, coming from the city.
Okay. Lead on. It is probably okay, but let's make sure.
And as you head that way, the rest of you are also woken up from Emmanuel, who is the Lycan who leads the two defenders that you guys have here. And as you all wake up and you throw on something simple and step outside, I'm gonna...
I didn't know if I had to do that, sorry.
What'd you say?
Not that I did anything. I hit long rest, but...
Oh, you're fine. I'm gonna put us on this page because I'm not gonna be able to properly define it here. As you are all woken up and you step out onto the porch, the cold sort of breeze, it's not bitter, it doesn't sting, but gods, you wish it was warmer, especially as it starts to get towards springtime. Bits of the snow are sort of melting, but there are still significant amounts all around. Emmanuel starts to point out towards the base of the hill coming from the west, from the city. And at this time, Baradine with Fess approaches as well. And they start to take a look at it. They have their weapons sort of out and gone. It appears there's a group coming towards you. It's the base of the hill, so it's hard to tell what it is. But you see a number of figures that appear to be... 4 of them are humanoid. Perhaps people walking in. Whilst you would wish you could get a better look, the wind blowing is kind of picking up snow and doing that sort of like low-level mist above the snow. If you've ever seen snow, how it picks up and it kind of blows across it. You're not able to get a good look, especially at the angle that you're at. But you also see these 2 large masses that are sort of blue and purple. And it's kind of hard to tell what they are. There's a small cart behind as well being pulled. You're not quite unsure what this is as it approaches.
Let's see here.
What would you guys like to do as you all stand on the porch trying to figure out what stands before you?
Are they like approaching us?
Yeah, they're
Or
headed up your
just,
path.
I mean, I would personally just stand and wait, but that's just me.
It's possible these are these are from the settlement. After all, they did agree to sending a research team. I don't think we were expecting it to be the next day.
Yeah.
It's 2 days later now.
Oh, it's 2 days.
Okay.
Okay.
Because you guys got back, went to long rest, had a full day,
Right,
long rest. It's this day. So it was quick. It's still really quick, but
Yeah. It is very possible that these are people from the Unchained, but caution is still apt,
Yeah.
considering the conditions.
Yeah. Can anyone conceal their presence and move forward and scout just to see before they get too close? Just to see if there seems to be anything
I mean,
particularly dangerous.
I could go invisible, and I mean, if we wanna.
that's what it would look like. To get you an idea, like that wind blowing over the snow, picking it up, and at the angle that
Yeah.
you're at, you wouldn't be able to get a good visual on it.
Oh,
You'd have to get closer. I realize
do think
not everyone
someone
here is used to
should
snow.
carefully. Yeah, I do think that someone should carefully move forward.
Yeah, because Lavetta grew up in the cold, so she's fine then.
We should also just move forward to greet them if it is them. So
Yeah, maybe
it-
all of us move forward, but
yeah, it's not particularly weird for us to move forward.
I mean, if you guys are going forward to meet them, then I'm more than happy to come with.
okay.
I forget, did I shift back to my human form, or was I still like it?
You never changed it. You never changed it in your dream.
I never changed it. Oh, okay, bad. Yeah, then I'm totally fine. It would be so weird going as an invisible wolf. Just there would be no stealth.
Invisible little pup.
Invisible pupper.
Okay, so
Yeah,
am
I'll
I to
just-
understand that you are
We're moving closer to meet
to
them,
greet? Okay.
friend or foe.
Very well. As you all approach, it is easier to begin to see as the wind grows a bit more visible. The visibility is a bit more visible. Wow, I can't speak English. The visibility clears a little bit, and as you approach and you get closer, you're able to tell. This is indeed the caravan you were expecting. As it approaches, you start to see who is among the retinue. You see a member of the ministry, Emil. The one who you've been speaking to before, who leads the sort of librarians there.
Yeah, the keeper of knowledge, scholar guy.
Yeah. You see another one who's wearing very similar robes, who looks just slightly different. Still undead. They're all undead. But noticeably among that, sorry, I zoned out. You also see two others. One appears to be clad in sort of the Montgomerin armor, which is the Death Keepers, the guards. And then you see another one who is also in robes, but she is, one, a ghost, in terms of transparency, but also the robes don't appear to be the exact same. And furthermore, she appears to be the one who is handling the large two masses who are pulling the cart. And it is at this point you're able to see what those masses are. As you start and the wind blows, you see on top, I see a large sort of mass. It's hard to tell. They're standing about 8 feet tall. And as it gets closer, the flesh on their body appears to be sort of this palish blue. It's like a purplish blue, and then across it is stretched different little bits of blue and whatnot, and sprouting from along the arms and the shoulders are little mushrooms. And at the very top of this thing is a large mushroom cap dome. This appears to be some sort of magical summoned golem made of mushrooms. I put a piece of art in the players thing. This was a Reddit one. This is a really cool one. If you're curious, it's Ardadine Stringweaver got the idea from. I'm not using the exact stock block, but I love the idea of it. So you got these little mushroom golems, and they're just little guys. They don't really have a face. They don't really have anything. Their head is literally just the cap of a mushroom, but it's massive. And you see sort of they've got the ropes strung over like through their shoulders, and they're holding it with their little hands, and they're pulling the cart. But yeah, that's the little mushroom golem. These guys are fucking tall. They're massive little guys. But yeah, so as they approach, you can get in. You see this large golem that appears to be made out of mushroom. As they approach, they get closer, and Emil sees you. Or no, go ahead.
Sorry, just a question out of curiosity.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to cook the mushroom, would it be edible? Hypothetically.
I mean, after what happened with the mushroom beer, you sure
Find
you
out
want to
in
go that
RP?
route?
Find
No,
out in RP?
it's just a hypothetical.
I mean, give me a nature roll. Give me a nature roll, sure. We'll find out.
Rip. Okay.
Yeah, it looks edible.
Good to know. I will keep that. Levet, just observes the group of fun guys and, make some notes, like on a leaf or something. I don't know. Okay, cool. Oh, good.
Okay.
Just in case they end up dying or something, we can salvage them for potions or anyway, go on.
Okay.
Sorry. Just
No,
preparing
you're just
in case things go
hilarious
badly.
sometimes, my dear. Okay, as they approach, Emmanuel looks to you, and looks sort of for confirmation of hey, are we good here? Is this person good, or are we? You kind of see Emmanuel looking at you guys for guidance here.
I believe this is the party that we were expecting. The promise of exchange of knowledge and information and support.
Emmanuel kind of looks at his other guard there, Baradine. Kind of gives this look of, okay, this is what we're doing. And nods and puts their weapon back in their sheath, but they do kind of keep a hand on the hilt as they stand there. As the team approaches, Emil, who's the keeper of knowledge, looks sort of excited. and walks up in front of you all. Get a sip of tea because this voice one always hurts my voice. It is good to see you all again. I am wanted to ensure that we all got here very quickly. So I apologize if you are overwhelmed by the quick response.
No worries. Welcome, friend. Thank you for making this such a priority.
Oh, of course, and I wanted to see so that myself is here to ensure we can help in the best way possible. Let me introduce this, gesturing to the other one in the robes, that matches his robes. She's got this paler skin, long, dark hair. This is Matilde, one of the members of our keepers. There, gesturing to the one in the armor, that is Vivian, one of the Montgardine, and there, gesturing to the ghostly person, is Bridget. She is in charge of the golems, not only to bring supplies with us. We don't have any sort of horses or anything like that, but Bridget here is very clever and was able to make some wonderful golems made of the mushrooms that we grow. You see that this sort of a proud look on Bridget's face. But we have brought
quite an
us
ingenious solution to not having beasts of burden. They look magnificent.
Yes. Bridget kind of smiles. Merci, thank you, I appreciate it. She's a bit softer spoken, but definitely looks appreciative of you saying that. On the back of the cot, you can see there's various different bundles of stuff, and the bundles that they're in, like the sacks and whatnot, they don't appear to be the nicest, but that's to be expected. Right? It's not like they've got fresh linen to make new bags, burlap sacks, and whatever.
Yeah.
Emil speaks up. I have brought a large selection of seeds. Over time, we had collected a bunch of them, but when we realized that food did nothing for us, we kind of just put them in storage. Originally, there was a large effort to get a wide variety, but you know how it is.
Yeah.
But I have potatoes, maize, wheat, pumpkins, sugar beet, barley, let's see, raspberry, apricot, parsnip, and then we brought you some various different salts, pepper, and paprika.
Oh, that sounds marvelous. Look forward to attempting to get some of it to germinate.
Yes, I would recommend doing some sort of cleansing spell if you have anyone particularly good at it. I cannot ensure that no diseases are amongst them, but perhaps, as there's some magics that we can ensure, or some sort of technique. Perhaps any of your people may know.
Yes, I also was just speaking to one of the druids that is among our retinue, and they and I were just talking in the garden this morning. And I'd like to pick your brain about some of that. We don't have to get into it right now, but
perhaps we get to wherever we are staying. If not, we can set up tents. We do not mind. But once that is, I can come and share not only that information, but the information on where you may find the wards as well. I would hate for you to have to all stand out in the cold, whilst we are fine. I do remember the necessity of warmth.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. Emil kind of, or Emmanuel speaks up. Yes, we can take you to. Where would you like them to stay? In the winery, or should we take them and find a spot for them to set up camp?
I think we decided that for the sake of tension, at least at the beginning, that they would stay down at the winery. So we know it's a bit of a
do
jog,
remember
but
that
plenty
we
of
are all
space to
in the
set up.
wineries. We stay in the winery as well. We're in the rooms in the winery. We could possibly spread out, instead of the bunks in the upstairs, we could spread out, possibly move some of the winery equipment. If not, there's plenty of places on the outside that they can camp.
Is there anyone staying like in the loading zone area? Because he said that, like, I imagine that would be a less shielded living quarter kind of thing, but it wouldn't be like you guys get tents over there kind of thing.
Yes, we could move the broken cart that is there and set them up in there. It's not a bad idea.
I think that could be a good place for them. And then once we ascertain like how much space they might need for their various projects and whatnot, then we can decide for a wider space, just at least as temporary quarters.
Very well. We will see to that, and perhaps I bring up the gentleman to the dining room to speak with you all. Perhaps that is a good space for that.
Yes, I think that would be a good place.
All right. Emmanuel and Bernardine escort the retinue down the hill to the winery, leaving the group of you to speak before anything else. You see Cersei, the librarian, the redheaded librarian. She just looks fascinated right now by the mushroom golems and the speaking undead. She is like biting her tongue right now not to say anything as like you guys are introduced. Like you could tell she very much wants to like, oh my god, this is so cool. I want to speak to her. I want to learn everything. But she's very much like biting her tongue. All right. Is there nothing the group wishes to speak about before continuing?
Before introductions? No, I don't have anything.
I mean, they don't seem suspicious or anything, so...
Would you like to give me would you like to give me an insight roll?
Here, okay. 1 sec.
I wouldn't hate one from Zara either. Typically I don't like doing it, but
Insight?
Zara's the sort of... Give me an insight roll. You're the sort of person who analyzes everything. I would be remiss to not let Zara run an insight roll. Okay. Let's wait for Lovetta's.
It's already there.
Yeah, I did mine.
Oh, so it didn't give me a little icon, I see. Lovetta, you feel they are being genuine. There is no sort of... You don't notice any sort of out-of-place behavior. I mean, you just spoke to them, but... Excuse me, they didn't seem to really have, like, major weapons. They spoke to you about the possible diseases on the seeds. They brought you a whole bunch of seeds. You know, the only thing you might be concerned about is the mushroom golems, but, like, the read that you got is genuine from the ghost who was handling them. Like, it didn't give you that vibe of maliciousness, if that makes sense. But Zara, everyone in the group again, seems genuine. Their intentions are genuine. There's no sort of maliciousness. They're not scanning you. They're not scanning the area. They're not, their guard is down as they approach, if that makes sense. However, as you look at them, you would be remiss not to remember that feeling you got about the Keepers of Knowledge back in the exchange. There was something, like a minor look, that you sort of clocked, if you remember, during that meeting. Do you recall what I'm speaking about?
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, there was a bit during the meeting at the exchange the other day that during it there was sort of a glance between members of the ministry, certain members of the ministry, that kind of gave you a unsettled feeling.
That bar in Belosia, right?
Say that again?
Or am I not?
Not the bar. When we were at the meeting with the ministry.
The vote.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just something that was out of place, and you couldn't place it.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't.
Yeah, and I kept walking anyway.
Yeah. So as you look at him now, as he's here, you're just like, there's something he's hiding, but what is it? You don't think he's up to no good. It's just there's something he's hiding, and you can't put your tongue on it. I keep saying that. You can't put your finger on it. Shan is never going to let me run that down.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything. I'm just...
Whatever you want to put your tongue on, that's not my business.
Alright. So, is there anything else that you guys want to do before you guys meet with them? Alright. Time passes, and you all huddle around the table. Emil is standing at the front. He comes in and sets down various scrolls and even some bones carved with different things. Am I good to start and explain everything?
Yes, please.
Right.
Yes, everything.
Kind of looks at you as you sat like at the opposite of the table from him. He slowly like sits down in the chair, kind of confused about your tone there. The others are setting up camp, but I figured it was important that I come here and speak with you all. Right, what would you like to speak about first? The intel or the plants?
Let's do the intel first.
Right. So, as promised, there is a two locations that we feel are possible for placement of the wards. Whilst there are others that stand out, and we can get to those, I am of the belief that there is well, no, I am of the belief that the moths agree, but based on the energy signatures, based on intel of where she goes, I am pretty confident in these locations. Two. The first one is the old Belosian archive. When everything happened, and we eventually came to, those of us who were more knowledge inclined sought out this place. It is a collection of knowledge that could be extremely useful to ensuring our prosperity. But there was a large number of opposition undead as we approached. And 2 of the moths were able to make it in, but they came back saying it looked like it had been ransacked, that someone had taken the majority of the books inside. No longer was a beacon of knowledge, it was a shade of its former self. They couldn't stay long, though. They reported some sort of issue. It's confusing. The intel between the 2 of them differ, and we weren't really able to make much sense of it. They weirdly were quite unreliable after. They have since retired, which was weird, to say the least. The moths are typically the best of the best. But they mumbled and mumbled and failed to provide too much intel, not even leaving the first floor from what we can understand. They did say, both of them, that there appeared to be some sort of arcane, not explosion, but remnants of a breakdown, charge of energy. It's the words were, to say the least, unhelpful. That is something to be mindful of. Perhaps arcane energy is a bit unreliable there. We've attempted to send people in before, but many are afraid to go in after what happened to the 2 moths, which is unfortunate. But beyond that, we do believe one of the walls protecting the gates into the upper city may be in there. What you face, I don't know. But that is number 1. That is the Belosian archives. As to number 2. There was once a temple in Belosia called Life's Temple. It was a beautiful temple carved into the side of the mountain, dedicated to Zeus, the goddess of life. But it is now desecrated, from what we can tell. Across the front of it, blood, symbols, iconography. Unfortunately, those among us who are more knowledgeable in such symbols, we brought it to some of the counselors who maintain the church within, or the temple within our grounds. They believe that it was rededicated rather, to Dolafina. If you are familiar with the goddess. Everyone can roll me a religion roll.
Pagan.
Dara's just out of it. She's just staring this guy down. Okay. The only one who knows the name is Vanny. Vanny Fess, rather. You know the name Dolafina. She is the Queen of Murder. I'm gonna put her not the fun kind of murder.
Type of murder.
I put her page in the thing here, and I'll put it in the Owlbear's discussion thing as well. The Queen of Murder, also known as the Lady of Murder. A lesser deity, but a deity nonetheless, who represents the domain of murder and the minor domain of ambition. She is represented by symbols of 3 drops of blood and various blood knives. Amiel speaks up.
Sick. Sorry.
Oh, fuck the goddess. Fucking
Why not?
Zara's over here like, whoa, I'm into it.
The betrayal.
I mean, you did kind of do the thing the other session.
Are you talking about the slap and how Zara's not really happy with
Yeah.
Lavetta?
She didn't.
Yeah. Hey, I need to become religious.
Yeah.
See?
Zara's in the doghouse. Or not Zara, Lavetta.
Lavetta. Yeah, but like she did it because she was worried about her.
You know, wolf hat.
Yeah,
She did it 'cause she was it wasn't like an aggressive, it was just like a please like come back to me type of thing. Like it wasn't like a bit like a
Well, maybe they need to have a talk about it.
they do.
Yeah.
I do.
Fess, you recognize that name because you've heard various spirits have maybe mentioned it as, you know, animal sacrifices being dedicated to this god, and them hearing the name Dolafina as they are murdered. Amiel speaks up. Whilst it is not confirmed, the blood and the various iconography would indicate Dolafina. Now, there are other possibilities. It could be Algia, the Mistress of Pain, or it could be, any of the death gods. But unfortunately, that is where we are left. We spoke with Percy, the priestess of Sephone. She was pretty confirmed that it wasn't dedicated to her goddess. Which is interesting to say the least. It shows that the Baroness is not worshipping the goddess of undeath, but rather possibly the goddess of murder. So there's a lot to consider there, to say the least.
Well, it did
But-
seem like she had some weird motive for Belosia in particular, so.
Yes, and it is... many of us have wondered what is going on in the upper city. What are they protecting? None of us in the exchange are from the upper city. None of us. Which makes us wonder what happened to those at the upper city. Zara, Lavetta, and Althea, you immediately remember. Up to you if you remember, but you would be familiar. Back all the way in Sanctuary, which was that collection of tents and camps with walls around it. All humans and whatnot, or not humans, but not churned individuals.
Yeah, where we fought. Yeah.
Yeah, you very briefly remember, and I want to say it was Zara who was the one who noticed it. There was a woman who looked absolutely depressed, crying, and you recall one of the girls that was sitting with her. She was younger, like not a woman. I should say, like she was like a younger girl, probably teenage, no older than 19. But you remember her looking depressed, and her friends trying to comfort her. And there was some mention of the upper city. But other than that, there was no speaking with her. None of you spoke with her. None of you. You just remember that was the only really other time you've heard of anyone possibly from the upper city. Emil keeps going. So it is... But regardless, the temple is desecrated. No longer a bastion of life and whatnot. But it is extremely fortified. We can barely get close enough. We believe that is where her base is currently. When we've been able to track her, it's typically her going there or into the upper city. She's able to bypass the barriers that get through. I don't know if we mentioned it, but even if you were able to scale the walls, not only can you not see into the city, you can't enter it. This barrier that protects it is powerful. So what it is protecting or keeping in, I don't know. So those are your two locations. We believe both of them have wards. The library possibly could be your easiest bet.
Do I now feel... Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Okay, wait, the notes back. Do I feel like he's now said everything or not?
No. Whatever he's hiding doesn't seem to be related to the majority of the stuff you guys have talked about. There seems to be something... The only time it seemed different was when they were talking at the meeting about how the exchange came to be and how no one really remembered why the scythe, like who came across the scythe and where it appeared from. That's when that happened. But everything else, you haven't noticed it.
Zara crosses her arms and is like, now tell us everything that you've been keeping from us.
I am unclear what you mean, madam.
Raises her eyebrows.
We believe the wards are in the library and the Temple of Life. As everyone has said, it is very much a suicide mission, but...
And the exchange? You've said everything about that?
What about the exchange? You talking about the place, the exchange, or are you talking about our people, the exchanged, with a D at the end?
Whatever you're not telling us. How it came to be.
Unclear what you mean, ma'am.
You know exactly what I mean.
No, he kind of like looks around, like genuinely confused. I've given you the information that I promised. Getting rid of the Baroness would be vital. Figuring out what's happening in the upper city, if it is protecting this artifact that you have mentioned. Retrieving it, or removing it, or destroying it would be key. I do not know what you are speaking about. I'm gonna roll a GM roll. Give me an insight roll, please, Zara. He seems like he's telling you the truth right now. He seems genuinely confused about what you mean. Now, either it is the truth, or he's deceiving you. You can't tell which is which. What are you? Wait. He's eating his food, so I'm proud of him.
Oh, he's finally eating.
Let it be for now. For now.
Oh, I would recommend going to the library first, the archive. But it is up to you what you do. I cannot say one way or the other. I think you're typing in the wrong channel, Melina, if you're trying to talk to the player chat.
I was accidentally pressing a button.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's a discussion chat. So that is what we know. You would have to be quite stealthy to get into either, but the temple is going to be extremely dangerous. But it is important that you take it out, so Perhaps I can see if we can find more information in the meantime about the defenses on that temple. It is, like I said, where she is appearing to live out of. As to the plants, I don't know too much at this time. I will assist where I can. Your lovely guards pointed out the garden where you are growing things right now. Whilst I wish we had far much more farmland to do so, we can work with what we do in the greenhouse.
There has been some thought there too, as of this morning, because it seems like the druid I've been working with has been able to do some form of purification to allow the seeds to germinate healthily and everything, but it seems like something is slowly sapping the life force away from the plants once they have sprouted. And we know that there are multiple layers to whatever this malady is, whether it's curses or poisons or some kind of spell. And basically I was wondering if there's a way to kind of build a barrier so that once we have purified the seeds, perhaps we could block whatever is causing them to wither.
That is a good question. It does appear to go through magical barriers, from what we've gathered. Has there been any success anywhere that you are aware of?
Unfortunately, it just seems like it, things start to wither.
No exceptions? Okay. Can you give me a deception check?
Okay.
Because you're trying. I can tell you're trying to hide the thing with the world tree, if I'm not mistaken.
Just for right now.
Yep, give me a deception check then.
Ooh.
Okay. That is a shame.
Very deceptive at the moment.
Yeah. Insight? Yeah. I am, and we'll see what I can do, but any possibility, we will let you know, but it does appear to affect so many things.
Yeah.
Regardless, yeah, and he hands you sort of the notes, and none of the notes are like super helpful beyond the stuff that he's already told you. It's just where you can find the library and the temple, the paths that are probably the safest to go through. But yeah, Mia looks at you all. I will not waste any more of your time.
Not a waste.
I am going to head to the garden to work with your druid friend. At least try. He seemed a bit apprehensive, but we brought plenty of seeds. Should there be anything you need from me, but I suppose you know where I am.
Yes.
That is gone as he steps outside. The group of you is left here to speak freely. Cersei speaks up. I must say, he's absolutely fascinating. I've never seen someone like that.
It is very
Keeping
interesting.
something from us.
Do you think so, or do you know so?
5% sure.
Well, not even we have been 100% open with them.
Mm.
So I can see hesitancy there. As we ourselves are hesitant.
Lovetta's, she's jumping on the bandwagon. She's like, I mean, if you know, Zara's got it. I mean, I feel like we should take their lead on this. If they've got a bad feeling, then Lavetta just looks guiltily over to Zara.
Hmm.
I don't.
Eh.
Zara doesn't look at Loretta. I don't think it's malicious. There's just something they're not telling us about that exchange.
It's possible that some or most may not actually know whatever this truth is as well. You would think that Emil, as the leader of the Keepers of Knowledge and such, and a minister himself, would likely be aware of it, but it's not necessarily the case. It could literally be just a small group of the ministers that know the truth about whatever this may be.
Mm-hmm.
Did you notice which of the group seemed to be more suspicious to you, Zara?
Is her internet fucking with her again? Melina. Melina.
Something, right?
Ah,
Hello?
there you are. Hi.
Hello? Hello? There I am. I heard everything. I just couldn't answer.
Oh, no.
I was asking you, it was mainly Emil and some people looking at each other strangely when we asked something, right?
There was two of them who were looking at each other. Emil and Violette, the leader of the Death Keepers.
Violette and Emil. Emil, but also the other people. It was just a look, and now his reaction. I'm convinced.
It could be something that they can't entrust us with as well. If something were to happen to us and we ended up informing the Baroness of how they came to be,
She might be able to regain control
it could put all of them in danger.
or stop others from being set free.
Mm-hmm. There are many facets to potentially keeping a lie of a mission than just the need to not inform anyone.
That is fair. There are lives at stake.
It's interesting that the archive has some sort of arcane residual effect, and it's likely this that this energy or it is what may have caused the moth's decline, as it seems to have been explained to us.
Cersei's kind of like You can tell she's thinking about something as you're speaking about it. Like she's trying to like put something together.
It doesn't. It's normally not something arcane that would cause a fracturing of the mind, as it seems they suffer.
She perks up.
But
No, that would technically be more my specialty. There is a possibility. Many of the archives, the libraries, all of them. I don't know. I give her an accent. All of them are built on fonts of energy. You had mentioned ley lines previously. They're very often built or channeled through, nonetheless. I wonder, without someone managing wards, as obviously no one would have been there, perhaps this is what happened? There's some sort of anomaly, breakdown of wards? Not to a massive extent, otherwise the building wouldn't be there, but maybe just enough.
It could be that the fine tuning of the wards without someone to maintain them has broken down and caused this residual magic feeling and the effects that moths experience. It's very possible that if we do manage to get inside, I may need to spend time studying the wards to try and see if I can repair them to prevent a similar affect on any of us.
I could possibly join you as well, but I will let you know in the morning, I think. But I would love to see the archive. That's why I'm here in Belosia in the first place. But obviously the archives were then moved and reformed, so it's complicated. But I could possibly join you. But I will let you know in the morning.
It would certainly be helpful if you could join us to, one, help mitigate the potential effects and hopefully assist in repairing and maintaining the wards while we are inside.
Yes, I think that's a good idea. Yeah, I will let you know. I.e., I need to find out if their player is going to be available. But
Good
good.
spirits.
Yeah, that's what I like. I like to bring people in when I can.
As far as the plants go, obviously the Bess and Lavetta, you'll be working with your assistants in the gardens to look after, to test and look after those.
She nods.
Anything else you guys wish to speak about?
If it's possible, when we have more homes and spaces available, we may wish to invite more druids that if they're available. I know that they're also needed in Lumbine for this ritual that I am still very interested in learning more about.
We can speak about it. They spoke to me about it. I learned about it. So, I mean, obviously, it would be best to hear from them, but I can happily talk you through it at some point. It is a very fascinating sort of thing, but yes.
Yes, and I'm particularly interested in it because of the power it draws from the moons.
Not unlike what you went through, right, Lavetta? And you realize that, like, she kind of realized at first, like, maybe Lavetta hasn't spoken about that yet.
Lavetta just looks over.
Flor
just
cocks
holds
her
eye
head.
contact. Like she's still in wolf form. So she's just...
He's in wolf form now? When did she switch?
No, she was still in... She's in, like lichen form, sorry.
When did she switch?
She's always... You said she never came out of that form.
No, I said she
said you never went into it.
Yeah, I said you never went into it.
Oh, okay, then never mind.
In the dream,
okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, bet. She just, like, looks over, doesn't say anything. Just holds eye contact for a few seconds.
Huh?
All right. Well, as you spend your days, is there anything else anyone would like to do during your break?
I'd probably be studying and attuning to the actual cave today. Because of the waxing waning idea I had from the dream that I had. And I get to listen to the singing of the magic.
Is there anyone else who'd like to look through the magical items that they have? I know, Zara, you have a few that you haven't identified or looked at yet.
Didn't we do that last session? I think I've identified all of mine.
You haven't.
Not all of them.
Hey, Althea. I don't know if Pez is...
Hello, I am back.
Can you go ahead and roll me a D100?
Oh, god damn it.
You DM'd me. What you DM'd me. I'm gonna make you roll a D100. 86.
That's fine.
Right.
That's not bad.
Well, we'll find out. Do I like that or do I like this one? Let's see.
Wait, what?
I have multiple lists.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's twice the fun. Oh, fuck. There we go. Okay. You guys are watching, like, you guys are sitting around. Althea, you're kind of just playing with your hands. And then just another Althea appears next to Fess.
Does it, like, make any noise or anything when it appears?
Oh, no, actually. 3 of them do.
Do they make any noise when they appear?
No, they all just kind of seem to be, like, chilling around Althea. And it's hard to tell which one's actually Althea, because they're all sat down doing the exact same thing she is. Only one of them's in a chair, though.
Did they appear, like, in my periphery vision or in my line of sight, or are they just
They're
like
in front
around?
of you.
Yeah,
They're
they're in front of me.
us.
Okay, so
Yep.
I very obviously saw them appear.
Yeah, they just sort of, you just see, like, Althea sitting there, and then you hear this, like almost like a shock going off, and next to you is or in front of you is 4 Altheas.
Gotcha. Fess's like feathers that are visible around like their neck are gonna like puff up a little bit. Like literally just things appearing out of nowhere. Just ruffles their feathers a little bit.
Owlbear is still playing with her fingers at this time. She doesn't notice.
Great.
Halfley?
What?
Did you mean to do that?
Do what?
Just look around you.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they seem to be mimicking your images or your actions directly.
Wow.
So all of them say, "What the fuck?"
Owlbear puts her hand up.
I don't think they make sound.
They don't speak. They don't speak. They just
They mouth the words.
Yeah.
Yeah. You cast mirror image on yourself if you're curious.
Yeah, you did.
Owlbear does the Macarena.
The traditional dance of your people,
Yep.
the Macarena.
What? Huh? Did I do that?
I would assume so, considering I didn't cast any magic on you, and it certainly appears to be a magical effect.
All I did was look at my hands and just wave them about.
Yes, that generally waving your hands about is very.
Well, magic's done.
It can be the cause of magic, considering magic does generally require something we call hand motions. Usually also there's some sort of verbal or material component, but that may not be required in certain cases, depending on how your magic comes about, you know? So...
All I was doing was thinking about what happened last night, where there was a load of butterflies, and I felt like a little tingly in my hands.
There were a lot of butterflies?
Yes.
Hmm.
They were kind of like, Owlbear's gonna try and just describe how the butterflies looked, whilst moving her hands around at the same time.
I give you another D100. Typically, a wild magic sorcerer wouldn't get this many rolls, but because
Yeah.
you have no idea how it works. 41. Oh, God's me. All right. Okay.
Okay, oh god. Oh no! All I saw was these nice purple, like, little butterflies.
This group's so much. This
I
group
like
is
this.
amazing.
Okay, you guys all watch. They all disappear, and Althea turns into a plant. There's just a potted fern sat on the table where Althea was.
Lavetta looks perplexed, but immediately runs up to the plant. Do you reckon I can make tea out of this?
No!
Okay, but I've got it.
That is not a good idea, Lavetta.
I heard plain, and I was like, huh?
And then I like
Just baiting her.
I pull out my little like tea wit jokingly. I'm not going to. But like I just pull out my tea wit. But the tea of the undiscovered flavors.
Are you interested in eating your friend?
No.
Or drinking your friend.
Yo.
No, I don't. I don't want to drink my friend. I don't want to drink my friend. Fluid, at least not consensual. Not
Not
consensual.
unconsensually, yeah.
Well, yes, yeah. She puts the plant back down. We must protect this plant.
It appears that Aphlia has some sort of well, she certainly gained some sort of magic, though
Give me an Arcana roll, please.
uncontrolled. Of course, I can do that. Haha! I am rolling like shit today.
Yeah, either she's gained some sort of magic, or it's an inherent magical ability.
She's either perhaps she's aged enough. I don't know anything about tieflings. That she has gained access to some sort of innate magic, or she's gained magic some other way, but she's certainly experiencing some sort of surge in magic capability and doesn't seem to be very controlled, or very easily controlled at least. Should probably warn her against gesturing wildly.
Yes,
during
wild
her-
gesticulation.
Yeah, while she's figuring out how to control these bouts. Definitely should keep her away from the ley lines. Right now.
That
I feel
sounds
like
fun.
I feel like that might be a bad idea for her to introduce that level of energy.
Oh yeah, Althea, you can't speak right now. You're still a plant.
Yep, I know.
Can she hear what we're saying? Or is it because she's a plant?
Not sure.
Hey, is a plant.
I'm not sure when this effect is going to
We need to get to the root of the problem.
conclude.
Oh,
You're just a
So-
plant. I think you can hear maybe, but it doesn't say.
Nope.
Oh shit.
I think there's something that may have stemmed from last night.
Okay, these puns are dirty. Let's keep going.
Yeah. Just keep the puns coming towards me. It's fine.
All right, just leave her alone. Leave her alone. She's fine.
Oh, come on.
So wait, if we put her in the like sunlight, does this mean she's gonna grow other limbs? Or is this like an actively growing plant, or is it okay?
She's a fern.
No, I'm pretty sure
Oh, she's a fern. Okay.
I'm pretty sure she's just a potted fern who can't really
Yeah, there's little bits of purple. Like it's a pot. It's like purple pot, and she's got like curved
They
leaves, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm drawing this.
I am not.
I am drawing
We-
this.
We may just want to take her up to her room and leave her be.
What the fuck?
I was gonna soil herself with all these comments. We're done. I feel like we branched out for that one. Okay, I'm now officially done.
You guys are just gonna take her to her room and just leave her there? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Think about what you did.
I'm concerned
Mm-hmm.
because the plants here seem to wither very quickly.
Oh
so-
shit!
Oh yeah. Let's go back.
Huh. Well,
Only-
there's nothing I could really do to prevent that, so...
Can you not communicate telepathically?
No?
No, that would be double checks someone's thing here. Oh, it's not on this shit. I gotta go to the other roll 20.
Yeah, I have no way to communicate with anyone.
Who has telepathy? I think. Yeah. You watch as Cersei kind of looks. Oh, yeah, I can, and looks at Althea. And in Althea, you just kind of hear this presence as a plant. It's really weird because you can't see anything. You feel the warmth of the light and you can kind of feel what's around you, but there is no vision other than maybe like spots of color as like depictions of your sensations, if that makes sense. But you have no way to observe anything. And as you're sat there just kind of feeling the warmth and the everything around you, you start hearing like a godly voice in your head, and it's Cersei. Althea?
What the fuck am I?
You're, okay, don't worry. Don't freak out. It's gonna be okay. You're a plant, though. You're just you're a fern. I hate to break it to you, you're a fern now.
What?
Yeah, I think you turned yourself into a plant. Yeah. We're gonna fix it. We're figuring it out. We're gonna sort it out, I promise. Just don't freak out. Okay? Okay, she's not answering. That's what she says. I mean, she did, but then she isn't.
I don't know if she'll be able to cancel this effect under her own will. Normally, with spells of transformation, you've got the ability to dismiss the effects, but if this isn't something she's got control over, I don't know that she'll have the option. But the only thing she can do is try. Otherwise, I'm a little worried for how long this effect may last.
Does anyone know how to dispel magical effects?
I mean, I do. The question becomes whether it will work properly.
Is there any harm in trying?
I don't believe so, and it should, as far as I can. It's likely an effect that's I should be able to dispel with relative ease. And I'm unaware of any potential ill effects, so we may just have to try it.
Well, be my guest.
Hopefully this won't happen very often. Flora will begin speaking the dispel magic verbal component.
Okay. Do you have to touch or anything, or is it just verbal?
It's got somatics, but that's also now taken care of by the focus, the Feywild shard.
Yeah. So you just say it. Focus your energy on Althea, and as you do, your magical energy, which is like a white, like a bright white, right? Like a moonlight white.
Mm-hmm.
Shines bright with those like little black and blue wisps within the energy, and then she pops back into a human. Or not human, tiefling. She's back.
Okay, you're alright. I'm going to have to recommend that you stop gesturing wildly during. You seem to be
I talk a lot with my
experiencing
hands.
You seem to be experiencing some sort of magical growing pains.
Magical puberty.
Pain.
How is this gonna be controlled when they're sleeping?
It probably won't be, depending on their dreams. So, hopefully, the fact that they aren't going to be moving will reduce the chances of an effect occurring. But
could it happen?
Unless you sleepwalk. Do you sleepwalk, Aflia?
I don't know if I sleepwalk.
Yeah.
If push comes to shove, we can always bind her arms while she's asleep, and then.
Pinky.
No, I'm.
I mean, yes.
No, I mean,
that is an option.
Wait, why bind my I'll be fine.
Worst
I
case,
won't move
worst-
my hands like this.
Worst case.
If you could, yeah, it appears that your magic is surging, and
Wildly.
wildly weird, and it's not something that you can control at the moment. You're likely going to have to spend some time, either meditating or finding some sort of inner focus to understand where the magic is springing from and how you can control it.
Me meditate? Oh.
There's other ways to meditate besides actual meditation. Some people find meditation in combat.
Oh.
I don't know if the barracks have any training dummies or anything that you might be able to.
I'm gonna go have a look. And
Okay.
who's gonna run to the barracks?
Well, I think we'll leave it there. Okay. We'll
meditation in combat.
I know, because I know Amelina needs to go eat at some point. So what we'll say is Althea, you go. They don't have any training dummies, but Emmanuel says to you that he'll certainly try to think of something up. And as you guys all spend the rest of your day, you all take a long rest. We go to the morning before you begin to travel. Now, I do have to ask, perhaps during this discussion here, what point are you going to go to? Whether it's the library or it's the temple or something else. But perhaps as Althea leaves, our next steps are necessary, so I can know to, pick something.
I think it would be the archives.
Yeah, the archives is where multiple people are interested in, and it's where it's also going to have, even if it's been ransacked already, it'll have some sort of information that we might be able to utilize. So that the archives would be Floor's vote.
Alright, sounds like the team is headed to the archives. So, with that, I think we will end today's session. Thank you very much, everyone, for joining. Appreciate you all. The next episode will be next Saturday, hopefully, depending on how people are feeling, in which we shall endeavor as the team heads to the team there. Tomorrow, are we playing thingies tomorrow? I can't remember. Did we get people for it?
I don't know if you have enough people for Minecraft.
Are you not able to make it tomorrow?
It's gonna depend on how I'm feeling because I've been very socially dead
You're fine.
for the past week.
So if not, it'll just be more thingies, more rivals tomorrow, or Astroneer. We'll see. With that, thank you very much for watching. I'm gonna probably switch over to rivals right now. Chan, did you want to join?
I don't know if my PC can handle it. I mean, I could raid you, and then we play together.
All right, we'll figure it out. Chat, I will see you. Ignore that. Fuck. There.